Hockey Podcast. I'm Joe Vitale, and that is Skoks per usual. And today we're going to be previewing the Blackhawks versus the Edmonton Oilers. And there's also some minor news regarding the Blackhawks as well. So stick with us. We're going to go over it all right now. Like I said before, Blackhawks fans, welcome into the newest edition of Chicago Blackhawks Central Hockey Podcast. Today, the Blackhawks are off after a busy week last week with 4 games at home. Back Sunday and Saturday, which they split. And they're going to be taking on a red-hot Oilers team. And not going to lie to you, it's not looking good. But so for the Blackhawks, their last 10 games, they're 4-5-1. They lost, as we mentioned last night, against the Capitals 4-2. I'm just going to go over some team statistics here.
Yeah.
So for Chicago, power play is 10.2%, which is good for 29th in the league. Penalty kill is 77%. That's good for 21st in the league. Off percentage is 46, which is 30th in the league. Goals for per game is 2.41, which is good for the dead last, 31st. And goals allowed per game at 3.44, which is 28th. Not very good.
No.
The Peter Mrazek, who will likely get this start, I would think.
Yeah.
He's 7-8 with a 3.03 GAA and a 9.12 save percentage, which for the 30th or tied 31st worst team in the league, if you're getting 9.12, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you want to compare that to Stuart Skinner, who's been the workhorse for the Edmonton Oilers, he's 10-7-1, which is good. But then he's a 3.03 tied with Peter Mrazek, and he's got an 8.87 save percentage, which is really bad.
Yeah.
Unfathomably bad, really. And so like I said, the Edmonton Oilers, they're 7-3 in their last 10, which is very good. On fire. There's just been some, Zach Hyman just got a hat trick recently.
Yeah.
The setup for that hat trick goal from Connor McDavid was one of the more disgusting plays I've seen in my life. It is Connor McDavid, so that's kind of the status quo. But here, let's look at the team stats for the Edmonton Oilers. I did Chicago's, and it's always go Hawks, but they're pretty bad. So here for Edmonton, it's their power play 27.6 in the league, which is good for 4th.
Wow.
Their penalty kill 80%, good for 17th. Face off 51.1, which is 11th in the league. There's goals for per game. 3.48, so almost 4 goals per game. Good for 6th in the league, and their goals allowed per game is a 3.36, which is good for 24th. So that's only 4 spots higher than the Chicago Blackhawks, which is cool. Just shows you their defense has been very lackluster, and the goaltending just non-existent. They've got Stuart Skinner and Calvin Bedard right now. And Picard's only played 3 games. He's 1-1, 2.24 GAA. I don't see a save percentage.
Save percentage is 918.
Okay, good, but 3-game sample size. So what does that even mean?
Yeah, super small.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then so the Edmonton's been rolling. They've got the probably the best 2 players in the league in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And so I'm going to go over some lines right now.
Yeah.
This is courtesy of Cap Friendly. I couldn't find anything on Twitter, so thanks to Skoks for getting me in this direction. First line: Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman. Very good, very spooky. Their second forward line is Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor Brown, which we were talking about before this. Well, I took him on my fantasy team as a flyer in the late round because I thought, hey, he's a decent cat. He can put up some good numbers. He has 1 assist, and he's also in a top 6 role, which
Yeah.
I find Chris Knobloch, that's his name, I believe. That's the new coach.
Yeah. Knobloch.
I think that's a little odd. And
Yeah.
his team, so he can do whatever he wants with it, but
Right.
I wouldn't be putting Connor Brown there. But
No. And you're on a line with Pissy Leon and Kane. Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then Evander Kane getting himself in in a little bit of trouble for knocking out Jonas Brodin of the Minnesota Wild, boarding him and taking him out of the game. And I think he's going to be out for a little while. And then just showing no remorse for doing that, and then accusing former Blackhawk Ryan Hartman of trying to kill him with his skate.
Wow.
So just a normal day in oil land, I guess. Third line, we're just going to keep it rolling here because that is an asinine accusation. Matthias Janmark.
Hawks legend.
Yeah.
For half a season-ish?
Yeah. And then shipped him off to
Dallas.
Vegas.
Or Vegas, yeah. Yeah, weird.
And then he's been bouncing around all over the place, but I think he's a good player.
Yeah, he's decent.
And good for him landing him a middle 6 role with the Edmonton Oilers. So that's Blackhawks legend Matthias Janmark, Ryan McLeod, and Warren Foegele. So Warren Foegele, 27. Ryan McLeod, 24. Warren Foegele, you remember him from Carolina.
Yeah.
Scrappy, good forechecking, intense forechecking player. So he's been kind of ramping it up lately. I've seen him on the score sheet a lot, so good for him. And then we're going to round this out with a fourth line of Sam Gagner, James Hamblin. He is 24. Is this the guy that? No, I don't think this is him. Is he the guy that he didn't start playing hockey until he was really old, and then
James Hamblin, 5'9", 24 years old. Undrafted, so this very well could be that story. This very well could be.
Let's see.
He's undrafted. Signing date March 2nd, 2022. So he's been in the Edmonton system for about a year.
No, this is not. It's not him.
Okay.
But anyway, at 24 years old, signing an ELC, I think. It's certainly something. So good for him. And then Derek Ryan, one of the best defensive forwards in the biz, 36 years old.
Wow.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting to see him down there.
No, but he's carved himself a nice role in Edmonton as the fourth line defensive forward. So
right.
And then he chips in offensively every once in a while. I remember last year in the playoffs, he got a goal. That was very timely. So good for him. Moving on to the defensive pairs, we got Nurse and Cece, Ekholm and Bouchard, Kulak, Desharnais.
Yeah.
Cody Cece, I would say, well, it's Cody Cece. Everyone knows who he is.
That
Um,
that's
he,
wild that they have him on that first pairing there.
yeah, he is one of the only uh, defensemen that the Edmonton Oilers employ
Hmm.
that has a plus record, and he has the highest plus record at +6.
Really? That's unexpected there. 6 points,
I
six assists.
I
Huh.
would agree with that. And then Darnell Nurse, his partner, is a +4, which is the
Yeah.
second highest
Mm-hmm.
on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so good for Cody Cece.
Yeah.
He likes to make some boneheaded plays every once in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, who doesn't?
Yeah.
The,
Um,
the Matthias Ekholm, Evan
yeah.
Bouchard line, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of the year, for whatever reason, Evan Bouchard just didn't feel like playing defense, even though that is his position.
Mm-hmm. Right.
um, and I get he's the power play quarterback. He's the, offensive forward. He's just supposed to get the puck to the, I get it. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're on the second pairing, um, you can't be that type of guy.
Right.
You have to be, I'm not saying you got to be like the best two-way guy there in the
Mm-hmm.
world. That's why you got Matthias Ekholm
Mm-hmm.
with you, because he's going to be that two-way guy. He can move the puck.
Yeah.
He can defend. He can deny. He
Mm-hmm.
can hit you. Everything else. So good balance there. And then Brett Kulak, Vincent Desharnais.
Mm-hmm.
Desharnais, really big. They're not going to give up on him, even
Mm-hmm.
though sometimes he makes boneheaded plays as well. And Brett Kulak, just a
Yeah.
just a solid player.
Mm-hmm.
I would maybe if you were looking for like a mirror image, maybe like a Connor Murphy type business, but like with a
Right.
little bit more offensive prowess.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Uh, this might be maybe the most equal matchup in size with the Hawks. Just looking at the measurements down the pairings here, starting with like Darnell Nurse 6'4", 6'2", 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", 6'6",
Oh yeah,
uh this might be the uh probably the most even like heavyweight matchup here.
and speaking of that very tall defense,
Yeah.
unfortunately for the Hawks,
Hmm.
they make a couple moves here,
Yep.
as we were saying in the beginning. So Kevin Korchinski needs to take care of a family matter,
Hmm.
and he's going to be away from the team for the foreseeable future.
Right.
It's unfortunate because I think that's Kevin Korchinski is really helping the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
So we're going to miss him in the lineup. And then the Hawks recalled Philip Ruse.
Hmm.
If you guys remember, he was a free agent signing out of the Czech Republic, I want to say.
Yep. Hmm.
Kind of a bidding war, almost a little bit, kind of a coveted prospect
Hmm.
at his advanced age. I think he's 24 right now.
Yeah.
So, this is kind of not quite a Panarin situation where he came over when he was like 26 or whatever,
Hmm.
and definitely not in skill form
Oh
either.
yeah.
But Philip Bruce has been hanging out, marinating in Rockford, Illinois, at the Ice Hogs, and they're going to bring him up, and he might
Hmm.
serve as just a seventh D man, or
Yeah.
maybe he'll slot in that bottom pairing just to shelter him.
Hmm.
Maybe get Isaac Phillips up there on the first line with
Oh.
Seth Jones. Like do like a Phillips Jones, and then like a Murphy Zaitsev,
Hmm.
and then that bottom one will probably be who am I
Uh,
missing?
Vlasic.
Vlasic.
Right.
It would be Vlasic and Roos.
Yeah. Um.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I was just gonna say. Zaitsev. he hasn't been a cone. You know, he has played pretty decently here. Uh, Pretty consistent over like the last 2-3 games. Um, with
And
that,
he
mhm.
would have had 2 goals, was it last game? Or sorry, the
um,
game before? Had
uh,
they were both changed because they both deflected off
yeah,
of players.
yeah. That Blues game, he would have had 1 goal, 1 assist.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it was that one was to
Yeah,
Dickinson on the back door. Yeah,
yeah,
that was not
yeah.
going in besides Dickinson tapping it in.
hmm the first one, that I believe was deflected by Beauvillier. I think his skate blade. So
Oh, right.
yeah, and
It kind of pinballed, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they ended up giving that to Beauvillier for his first Hawks goal. Weird one, but hey, we'll take it. Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunate for Zaitsev to be robbed, but he has been playing very well.
yeah, yeah. In that short spurt here, where he has to play, you know, losing a few bodies, but like uh, like we were saying earlier, Louis Crevier, you know, 6'8". He moves very well for that size. Uh, Not just his skating, but like his puck handling, passing. I think everything looks pretty decent all around. So definitely keep it up. Stay consistent with that. And he has been firing the puck on that. He don't care. He does not care. What when he's at the point, if no one's cycling, looking to move the puck, he's just gonna throw it. Uh, I like to see it, man. Like seeing it.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought up Crevier because I
Yeah.
completely forgot about him. I don't know how I can,
hmm
because in this very small sample size, he's been great.
Yeah.
And it helps that when he sticks out his arm with his
hmm
stick,
Right.
it's like 12 feet. But
Yeah.
um, you know, so maybe Ruse will be that seventh guy because
hmm
that bottom pair will probably just be Vlasic Crevier.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
redwoods, the
hmm
redwood forest. I mean, those guys are so big.
hmm
Um, and yeah, I really like Crevier and seventh round pick. I think the Blackhawks might have found something here.
Yeah.
And
hmm
I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, is Norris trophies and all this other. Is the new Vector Hedman? No, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying he's a very good player that you don't notice on the ice. And for this season, no news is good news if you're the
Yeah.
Chicago Blackhawks.
hmm Um, just the last uh little news sample from today. Wasn't really expecting it with Boris Kachuk. Just seeing him on waivers, so I guess they want to get him down to Rockford, get some ice time.
Yeah, he'll probably slot in.
hmm
With the top six for certain.
Yeah.
It's just when the Ice Hogs sent Joey Anderson up,
Right.
and the
Right.
Hawks, the Hawks got Joey Anderson. I see kind of Boris and Joey having similar play styles,
hmm
and so I think the Ice Hogs are missing him a bunch.
I
But
think so. Yeah.
you cannot send Joey Anderson back down,
hmm
so Boris Kachu will have to do for this this time. And
Yeah.
the Hawks have a surplus of bottom six guys, which I think Boris Kachu is.
hmm
And you know, I I don't think this is necessarily like a setback or
No.
like Boris Kachuk is cooked or anything. I just the Blackhawks have too many forwards
Yeah.
and not enough space for him.
hmm
Like you said, he needs to be playing games. He's an
Yeah.
NHL forward. He needs to be handling the puck. So
hmm
he'll go down to the AHL. He's going to tear it up,
Yeah.
and he'll be one of the first call-ups when the need arises.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you made with Joey Anderson just playing so well right now. Didn't realize it at the time earlier, when the Kachuk news came out, but that makes a lot of sense. That line of Jason Dickinson, Nick Foligno, Joey Anderson, absolute magic. That's a golden line right now. That's probably our best line right now.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately.
yeah, but every shift, I mean, consistent puck possession, long puck possession in the ozone. Love to see it. Uh, just cycling, getting shots on net. Uh, can't be stopped. I mean, you can't stop that line. It's pretty impressive. Just seeing like Joey Anderson plop in there. It's great to see, man. Really good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed with him. I think
Yeah.
Joey Anderson has been. I think he's probably here to stay, and
Yeah. Hmm.
looking forward to seeing him in a Blackhawks sweater for the years to come.
Hmm.
Just going to wrap it up with some a little unfortunate news.
Yeah.
Member of the Blackhawks family here is in a battle. Tony Granato joined the broadcast booth for NBC Sports Chicago, and he released a statement that he is battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So here at the Chicago Blackhawks Central Hockey Podcast, we extend our thoughts to Tony Granato and I think the entire city of Chicago and maybe even the NHL at large. Granato family is very, very well known. Everyone is rooting for you, Tony, and we just hope that that your fight goes well, and this battle will be over soon, and that you will be victorious. So. Just thoughts to the Granato family and Tony specifically. NBC Sports Chicago Plus has been doing the Hawks cast with Coach Tony and Charlie Romeliotis. So he said, I was listening to the Blackhawks Talk podcast, and this is just Tony's character is he didn't want to let the boys down, so he let Charlie know. He said, hey, I'm going through this battle. I'm still going to try and do as many as I can while I'm doing the treatment. And it's like, buddy, don't worry about us. Don't worry about the Blackhawks fans. Worry about yourself. Get yourself in order. And we'll pick this thing back up. Hawks aren't going anywhere, and it's just Hawks are going to be getting better every day. So, thoughts to the Granato family, and I think that's been this edition of the Chicago Blackhawks Central Hockey Podcast. I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys watching. Hawks take on tomorrow the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
I want to say is it 8:30?
You know what? I think we have a late one on our hands, actually. Just taking a peek at it. 9 p.m. Central start time.
It's that West Coast because it's in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Completely forgot about that. So late one. Get out your coffee, a little mocha, whatever you like. But that's a late one there. First matchup, Bedard, McDavid. Should be fun.
Definitely look for that storyline, Bedard versus McJeezy. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Go Hawks.
Let's go Hawks.